Hey there, grammar fans. Welcome back for another week of the #GrammarFans video series. Today we're talking about a fantastic and important grammatical concept, the concept of the subordinate clause. Our agenda for today is this. First, we're going to talk about what a clause is. Then we'll talk specifically about what a subordinate clause is and what makes a clause a subordinate one. And then we're going to take a look at a fantastic example of a subordinate clause used in the lyrics of the great Kelly Clarkson. First, what are clauses? Well, the word clause refers to any structure in language that contains a subject and a verb. You can have dependent clauses, which can't stand on their own as sentences, and you can have independent clauses that can stand on their own as sentences. The subordinate clause is a kind of dependent clause, and what separates it from other dependent clause types is that it begins with a subordinating conjunction. The most frequently used subordinating conjunctions are the words if, since, although, because, and until. You use a subordinate clause in writing in combination with an independent clause to give some additional background or descriptive information about that independent clause to help the reader further understand whatever's going on in the sentence and what events or contextual elements or important details contribute to the information conveyed in that independent clause. So I promised you Kelly Clarkson, so now we're getting to it. One of my favorite songs and one of my favorite subordinate clause examples is the song Since You've Been Gone by Kelly Clarkson. In that song, Clarkson says, "Since you've been gone, I can breathe for the first time." Now that sentence contains a subordinate clause, specifically, "since you've been gone." That clause, while not necessary for the sentence to totally make sense, I can breathe for the first time works even if you don't use a subordinate clause with it. That subordinate clause is really important to the sentence because it helps us understand why it is that Kelly Clarkson can breathe for the first time. If that subordinate clause was not used, we wouldn't know why. And if a different subordinate clause was used, then that sentence would be totally different. For example, if Kelly Clarkson said, "Since I have now recovered from running, I can breathe for the first time," well, that sentence is really different from "since you've been gone."